What's good, y'all? What's the numbers TV? It's your boy Poe Rowe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like a video if you mess with the content that What's the Numbers TV is out here providing. Today we're going to talk about Tekashi. Yeah, I know everybody's talking about him, but I'm going to give y'all a little breakdown and a little behind the scenes of the movers and the shakers that was being spoken about in court and all that. So, Tekashi got on the stand. He told on everybody. He connected the dots. He pointed the fingers. He broke down certain lingo that they was using. But other than that, they had everything on camera. They said he was telling on Harv. Come to find out, the whole kidnapping is on camera already. They said he brought Jim Jones' name up. Come to find out, they got audio with Jim Jones talking to Melly about the kid, about violating him and all that. Said he was telling on Shotty. Come to find out, they got video of Shotty hopping out the truck, shooting at the car that was harassing them and following them and all that. They got the video of Shotty robbing the dude and This Is 50 officers that Tekashi filmed. They got all that on camera. They got Fubang on the Barclays shooting on camera. They got Tekashi mentioning the hit on Chief Keef on camera. You understand what I'm saying? So they had everything already. When Nuke robbed Roe, if you was in the tune, if you was watching what was going on back then, Nuke posted that on Instagram. He posted the big AP chain. He posted the Range Rover. So they had all this already. You understand what I'm saying? So it looked like, Tekashi was paying that bread. They was getting $250. He said they was gonna give me $185, taking $65 for the homies for the set. It looked like Shotty was dishing that bread out to certain people. It looked like eventually Shotty started shorting people their bread, or maybe not even giving everybody their bread. And that's when Harv, who was really putting on for the Treyway at the time, really doing, as Tekashi said, with the whole Trippy Red situation with the fight out in LA, Harv was just holding him down. Harv started feeling slighted, like he wasn't getting as much of the portion that he should get, and him and Shotty started bumping heads. Once that happened, it looked like the whole fragmentation of the Treyway and the Billies just happened. And it's always been little issues within the set gang. That's just any gang, you know what I'm saying? They had rumors of Nuke and all beefing with Melly and all the back in the day over certain things, or they had certain issues with people around them and stuff. So there's always been power struggles. Somebody want to take the set from somebody or feeling a way about certain things. But it looked like they all came together for this Tekashi wave, because it felt like they was all back together. They're like, there's a bag involved. Let's just get money. So like Shotty had more of an influence over Tekashi and started little by little wrestling away from the rest of them. But he was with Roe and Mel, and like Harv and them started feeling away. So that's when you see Billy Otto not around anymore. He supposedly sided with Harv's situation. Nuke is sided with Harv. And then you got Roe and all. They said the driver got on the stand after Tekashi and said after the kidnapping, Roe and Tekashi was together a lot. And even when Shotty says when he couldn't be around, he'll put others around him like Melly and all of them to hold him down. You understand? And then people saying that Shotty did Tekashi dirty, but honestly, I feel like Tekashi did Shotty dirty, because the whole thing about his baby mother and all that, we don't know if that's true, because she said it's not true, Shotty said it's not true, and Tekashi's a known liar snitch, so it's like we gonna believe what he says. And then you say Tekashi said himself he was paying with no problem. He was like, it wasn't a problem. So you telling whole areas of the United States to inviting them to your private parts, and then you got to go in these areas and get money, do shows, do appearances. And who's holding you down? Who's putting that umbrella around you? Who's putting the people around you that's seasoned enough to get you there and get you home safely back home to your family? Shotty was. So he should have probably be getting more like 6 figures compared to just $65,000 to bust down. And maybe if he was getting paid a little more, he would have been able to keep the wolves off Tekashi's back a little longer, because he would have had more money to spread around. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, if you were there, if somebody holds the door for you one time and go get you a soda, he feels like he's, entitled to something. That's how it works when they come with these gangs. These people feel like they're entitled to certain things because you just coming around. I've been banging this set for such and such years, and you just coming around, you got all this clout. So for me to go with it, I need to be compensated for that. And that's how, a lot of these dudes was feeling. And once it imploded, and they just started doing things to each other and basically got a RICO charge, an indictment charge, because of shootings and kidnappings and robberies that they were doing on each other. You understand? Besides the certain things from the Instagram and all that, they was, and Casanova, those isolated incidents, they was doing everything to each other and got locked up because of the things they were doing to each other. When the cops said we had to shut the indictment down, we had to move on it faster, is because the phone calls that they was hearing about them violating Tekashi, they felt like his life was in danger. So they had to shut the investigation down and come and snatch everybody up and seal the indictment earlier, then they would have. They were still investigating them, trying to get more stuff on them. So, just think about that, man. But yeah, I understand what people talking about with Tekashi, because yeah, he was a kid, he was around these wolves. These guys Tekashi's early 20s. These dudes is 30 plus, 35. They've been through so much more. They're so much more tougher. Even if Tekashi was a wild little young boy that was shooting and all that, these dudes is still just physically stronger, mentally, and they've been through more, so they was able to manipulate the situation. And that's Tekashi. What got in over his head. He was too scared. You heard him in a kidnapping video. He was petrified, and he ended up biting the cheese at the end of the day. He ain't trying to do the 47 years that they was hanging over his head. And he trying to get that 5K1 letter and trying to come home, man. Will he have a career? It's 2020. I don't know. People are sympathizing with him already on social media. If you go in the comments, somebody, they did this to him, that to him. What was he supposed to do? But will he be able to ever be a gangster rapper and go to these areas and do these shows in the middle of the Carolinas or in the certain areas of New York City or California or Georgia, or where there's especially areas where there's non-trade presence? I don't think he'll be able to go that route. But could he still go and drop music on the internet and do videos and get paid on that, do interviews here and there? Yeah, he ain't the first rat. He won't be the last. But anyway, I'm gonna move right along, talking about the blood. Let me just sound some line on this on the Crips real quick. OG Crip, big homie GSC, GS9, P Gutta, locked back up, and he's on his Instagram talking about the situation, trying to get people to shed some light on his case. I really don't know the case. I really don't know what's going on, but supposedly he's locked up for some sex trafficking charges from November 2018 to 2019 in February. But he's saying within that time he was locked up in jail already doing parole violation. So how was he even able to commit these charges? I don't know. I haven't read the paperwork or nothing too much. And he's saying he got no bail. They offered him 50 years, basically trying to put his lights out. And if anybody can help him, he got his judge address and name up there and all that. So if you want to go check that out, if that's your big homie, you might want to get in tune what he got going on. If you know P Gutta, big homie, he had, when Bobby Shmurda and Rowdy Rebel with them was out, he got pictures with them. He was out on the road with them. He definitely showed them love. They definitely showed him that respect of a big homie. Also, he got pictures with, Nuke, who was the whole 6ix9ine situation. He got pictures with La Brim. A lot of the Bloods and the Crips in New York City, they know each other. They've been around through jail and all that. And in the streets, it don't really be no Crip on Blood beef too much. They might run into each other at an event or here and there, get into it, but it won't be like a whole citywide Blood on Crip beef. Jail is more so Bloods dominate, got so much more numbers. So you might have little incidents where they're trying to, get at the Crips, or Crips trying to survive. But in the streets, it's not really like that. And Crips got whole areas of Brooklyn that's just Crip, And they also going at it with the folks and all that, so they really ain't beefing like that. But that's another video. But yeah, man, that's P Gutta. Go check him out. If you know what's going on or so, I don't want to speak on it, get in the comments. Let's What's the Numbers know what's going on. This What's the Numbers TV though, man. It's your boy Poro. Until next time, I'm out of here, man. Peace.